Welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about the stages of change because if you're looking to be making a change in your life, and in particular, if you're looking to be like quitting an addiction or being able to create a new habit, perhaps it's something regarding your health, or perhaps it's about getting over a loss or getting over a breakup or moving forward with your life and taking a new direction, there are stages of change that everyone goes through, more or less. Now, I didn't make up these stages of change. They actually come from a man that I'm going to speak about right now. Now, there was this teenager, and his father was an alcoholic, and he was also depressed. And then the father didn't want to seek any type of counseling. He didn't believe in any of that kind of things, and he died. And so his son was extremely curious about what it is that can help people to change and to make a difference in their lives. And so he studied thousands and thousands and thousands of people. He became a doctor, and now he's known as James Prochaska, and he's considered one of the most top 10 eminent clinical psychologists in the past 70 years. So what he had done is he had looked at thousands and thousands of people to find out what they were doing to be able to make transformations in their lives, looking for some type of pattern so that it could be having much greater clarity and understanding how he can have his own clients move through these types of changes in their lives. And so what he did was he wrote this book called Changing for Good, and he found that there's basically it's 6 stages of change for being able to move forward with your life. So I'm going to go over what these stages of changes are. So this is the stages of change model by Prochaska. So first is pre-contemplation, which is about realizing, maybe the person has a problem, but they have no intention of changing behavior. They're unaware that they might even have a problem. They don't take responsibility for the problem, and they are usually avoiding the subject. Okay, so this could be a person that's perhaps, gambling away their money all the time, or perhaps they're obsessing about the past for like years and years and years, and they just think, well, that's just the way life is, and they don't take responsibility. The next stage of change is contemplation, and this is where they start realizing other options and possibilities and taking a look at, what else is going on? Are there alternatives? Is there another way to be living? So they think about changing, but they procrastinate. But at least there's like the crack of an opportunity for a possibility to be making transformation. Next is preparation. And this is when they intend to take action soon. They realize change is possible and good. They become serious about changing. They perhaps see other people that were in similar situations that came out stronger, that were able to perhaps move forward with their lives. And so they might, if it's about health, they might, buy that new pair of running shoes, or they might, think about going out and doing something different. So that's the preparation stage. Next is action. And of course, you got to have some action. Now, this is when a person has changed behavior for about less than 6 months. They're taking some steps. They're perhaps quitting doing the gambling or the drugs or whatever it is, or they're finally getting out of the house and meeting other people, or they're actually, taking a run and going for a jog, and they're taking steps in that direction. And they're doing it for about 6 months. And next is maintenance, which is about maintaining that change. They've changed their behavior for greater than 6 months, and they begin committing to a lifestyle. And then, of course, the last stage is termination. So their former problem behaviors are no longer perceived as desirable, and this is the end of the change process. In other words, it's kind of like the caterpillar, goes through all those stages of change and then, becomes a butterfly and pretty much never looks back. They don't think of themselves as, oh, I used to be an alcoholic, or I used to, have a problem getting over a breakup, or I used to be addicted to whatever. They don't even think about that anymore. It's like they've become a new person. They've been able to embody this transformation throughout their entire being, that this is who they want and what they are. So those are the stages of change. Now, this is what's important. What Prochaska noticed is that no matter where a person was in these stages of change, the people who were able to change for good, they all had one thing in common. And this is an extremely important point, because if you're looking to make a change in your life, this is going to be very much an instrumental piece or component for being able to make that transformation. And that's a well-formed outcome. So in other words, having a really huge, juicy, beautiful goal that's far more empowering, far more invigorating, that fills you up with vitality, and it's far more alluring than whatever that problem behavior was. So it's having a well-formed outcome. So all the change from pre-contemplation to action is predicted by having a positive outcome that's more important than the problem behavior itself. So let's say a person is smoking, they're thinking about smoking. Instead of them thinking, oh man, I just got to quit smoking, it's better for them to be thinking, you know what, I'd like to be spending time with my grandkids. But if they realize, if they keep smoking, they're probably going to die sooner. And so they won't be able to spend time with their grandkids. Okay, so if they have that well-formed outcome, that bigger, brighter goal that's on the other side of smoking, then it's easier for them to stop that problem behavior. So this is why this well-formed outcome is such an important thing. So the more you know what you want that is contrary to the problem behavior, the more you don't want that problem behavior. So it's easier for a person to be quitting the gambling if they think, geez, you know what, it'd be better to have a house, or it'd be better to have some cash in the pocket, or being able to, get over a breakup or rebound from that type of financial loss or whatever that problem was. If they're looking to the future and thinking, you know what, it'll be better to be involved in a better relationship or just having a better health overall. And yeah, I'm just going to speak briefly about the Wegner paradox. When someone's thinking about, I'm just going to continue with the smoking here, but if someone's thinking, oh, I got to quit smoking, or I got to stop overeating and stop smoking and stop thinking about the X, this is so detrimental, because that thinking about that problem, it just causes that problem to take up more space, take up more real estate in their psychology. So that's not a good thing to do. This was a whole Harvard study that was done about this. So if you're looking to be making changes, don't be thinking about, oh no, don't do that and don't do this and don't think about the X, whatever that X is. Instead, it's about, think about what it is that you do want, right? Move in the direction that you'd rather be moving in instead of where you don't want to be going. So these are the stages of change, and it's more or less like a staircase, a spiral staircase that people take. Now I'm just going to put this on its side for a second, and then just put it on a bit of a graph so that you can have a better understanding as to this. So when someone's going through this pre-contemplation phase, or whether they're going through the contemplation stage of change, it doesn't mean like, okay, they're on step 2, now they're going to go to step 3, because people will relapse. People will kind of, take 2 steps forward and then 1 step back, or they'll take some action for a little while, they'll go for the run, or they'll quit their smoking and they'll take up better habits, or they'll stop thinking about whatever that big problem was. Maybe it was that huge loss or the loss of a skill, and they'll take some action. But, inevitably they'll kind of relapse and just kind of fall back a little bit, and fall off the wagon or whatever. And this is a natural part of change. A lot of people will just try to make things really difficult for themselves by thinking, oh no, I've gone off the wagon, such a bad person. When it's not. They're just naturally taking this path of these stages of change. So it's very natural to be taking 1 step forward, 1 step back, and just kind of wobbling and stumbling forward in this type of way. But it's all good, and it's all part of this entire stage of change model of Prochaska. And eventually, by maintaining that path, you do reach that phase of termination. And this is a good thing, because it enables you to be having the thoughts, behaviors, and actions that are far more empowering for whoever that person is. So those are the stages of change. Now, if you're looking to be making changes for yourself, and I don't know what that change is, whatever that X is, but if you do have that well-formed outcome, it'll be much easier. And if you're thinking about what that bigger picture goal is, it's far more easier to be going through this whole transformative process and going through those stages of change, so that it changes the entire trajectory of your life. So if you're looking to be reprogramming your mind so that you can be having better habits and thoughts and behaviors, then understand that there's these stages of change that people go through, and that it's natural. So, if you're feeling like you're relapsing or that you just can't quite do it, know that you are doing it, and that's just all part of the process. Right? And of course, you're taking advantage of your brain's ability to rewire itself in response to experience, and that takes a bit of time, right? So that those old neural pathways that were feeding into that problem behavior, those will end up dying off because you're not giving it any attention, but instead giving attention towards the behaviors that you do want. Okay, so This is all a really good thing, and changes can take time, right? So those are the stages of change, and I always make sure to let my clients know about this because it's important for them to realize that, hey, there is a path that they're on, and two steps forward, one step back is totally fine and totally natural. So that's what the stages of change are. And I look forward to sharing more with you about what's required for reprogramming your mind so that you can be having better decisions and better actions in your life. And in the next video, I'll share with you what else is absolutely essential for being able to make changes in your life so that you can reprogram your mind and your behavior so that you're having your life be a lot more the way that you'd rather be wanting it. I'll see you then. Bye for now.